Have you ever felt like you were nothing more than a resource to your own family? Before you witness this quiet, overlooked daughter unleash a storm of perfectly documented, ice-cold revenge, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. The Price family is about to learn that the quietest person in the room is always the most dangerous. The Sunday dinner was an ambush disguised as a pot roast. I walked in, a bottle of Merlot at hand, to the familiar tableau of my life. My father complaining about property taxes, my mother fretting over the seating chart, and my younger sister, Corinne, glowing with the news of her latest world-changing app. I was Jeanette Price, 29, the reliable one, the boring one, the one who paid for things. For 7 years, my paycheck had been the silent, unacknowledged pillar holding up our family's comfortable life. My mother's emergency surgery, the house's foundation repair, my father's new truck transmission, my sister's endless parade of failed startups. I had paid for it all, delaying my own life, my own dreams, because family comes first. Tonight, I learned that I was not considered family. I was considered an asset. As the pot roast was served on the good china, a special occasion, my father stood, his expression grave. "Your mother and I have an announcement," he began. "We've decided to sell the house." The words hung in the air, a stunning betrayal. The house I grew up in, the house I had poured over $50,000 into repairing and maintaining. "And," my mother added, her smile not reaching her eyes, "we've decided to give all the equity, about $200,000, to Corinne, to get her new app across the finish line." The room spun. My wine glass slipped from my numb fingers and shattered on the floor, the red liquid pooling on the hardwood like blood. "What about me?" The question was a pathetic whisper. "Oh, honey, you're established," my mother said, as if my stability was a character flaw. "Corinne needs the chance you've already had." "Your sister deserves this," my father added, his voice hard. "This app could be worth millions." I looked at Corinne. She wouldn't meet my eyes, her fingers already dancing across her phone screen. They continued dinner without me, a perfect family portrait with one inconvenient piece cut out. In that moment, the quiet, accommodating daughter they had always relied on died. In her place, something colder, sharper, and far more dangerous was born. The next morning, my friend Marnie, who works at a credit union, called me with a whisper. "Jeanette, I saw something I shouldn't have. There's a new $70,000 home equity loan against your parents' house. The signatures, they look forged." That night, using the account access they'd given me years ago for emergencies, I pulled the loan documents. The forgeries were laughably bad. My father's name, missing his characteristic flourish. My mother's, too loopy, too feminine. It was my sister's handwriting. Bank fraud. A felony. The plan to sell the house wasn't about funding her app. It was about paying off a secret, fraudulent loan before the bank discovered the crime. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I created a new folder on my laptop titled Family Meeting and began to methodically scan and save every document, every signature comparison, every shred of evidence. At 2 a.m., I texted Marnie, "Can you testify about the signatures if needed?" Her reply came a minute later. "As your friend? Absolutely." The trap was set. This is the turning point, where the family ATM becomes a forensic investigator. The game has changed, and they have no idea. If you are living for this ice-cold revenge, smash that like button and let me know in the comments, what do you think her next move should be? I called an emergency family meeting. They arrived, irritated and expectant, ready to lecture me on my selfishness. I said nothing. I simply laid out the evidence on the dining room table. The loan documents, the signature comparisons, the proof of a $70,000 crime. Corinne crumbled, tears flowing on cue. "I needed it for the app," she sobbed. My father, his face shifting from shock to panic, moved to block the door. "You will not send your sister to prison," he commanded. "We are a family. We will fix this. We forbid you from calling anyone. I will not pay for her crime, and I won't be part of your cover-up." The next morning, their coordinated attack began. Corinne's tearful Facebook post about her jealous, bitter sister went viral in our community. My father sent a mass email to our extended family, painting me as a villain, creating division over a simple financial arrangement. My mother left weeping voicemails, accusing me of tearing the family apart. They thought they could shame me into submission. They didn't know I was documenting everything. The posts, the emails, the voicemails, all saved, time-stamped, and categorized in my evidence folder. When my father cornered me in the office parking lot, his face contorted with rage, I let him threaten me. I just glanced up at the security camera, its red light blinking, and added his performance to my growing collection. The bank's fraud investigation was swift and brutal. My evidence was irrefutable. When they called my parents for a statement, the house of cards collapsed. The HELOC fraud triggered a default on their primary mortgage. The sale of the house fell through. Within months, they were forced into bankruptcy. Their last stand was the annual neighborhood barbecue. They tried to perform their perfect family narrative one last time with me as the villain. But when the bank manager who lived down the street heard my father talking about a family misunderstanding, he stepped forward. "Arthur, are you referring to the $70,000 fraudulent loan Corinne took out in your name?" The silence that fell over the backyard was absolute. The whispers that followed were a symphony of their own destruction. I didn't have to say another word. I just picked up my plate and walked away. I left Grand Rapids a week later. I took a job in Denver, a $30,000 raise, and a life that was finally my own. 7 years of my income had been sacrificed to their comfort. 7 years of my dreams deferred for theirs. They thought their betrayal would be the end of my story. They had no idea it was the beginning. My revenge wasn't loud. It was a perfectly organized folder of evidence, a series of quiet, strategic decisions, and the beautiful, deafening silence of my phone no longer ringing with their emergencies. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. In this case, it was served with notarized documents and a bankruptcy filing. What do you think is the ultimate form of justice? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you believe in the power of quiet strength, subscribe for more stories where the underestimated always win.